Greetings everyone, N2CUA here. Name is Randy, as you probably already know. Anyway, I did have a viewer that had a question about the sync pulse coming off of the Regal DG-4162 function waveform generator, arbitrary waveform generator. Wondering what the sync pulse was like. So, did a little checking. I just want to move these down a little bit here. There we go, so we can see them better. Alright, right now we're set at 30 megahertz, 2 volts peak to peak. And that's on channel 1, that's the sine wave output of the generator. And then the bottom one, the blue trace, is the sync pulse output. And, well, not necessarily the cleanest sync pulse in the world, but you know, sync pulses are never really all that clean anyway from what I've seen in the past. Let me just see, as DC coupling, I just wanted to be sure. Okay, so, because I mean, they, you know, normally with sync pulse, I'm relatively sure are triggered off the rise or fall time anyway, so, you know, what the tops and bottoms look like are, you know, not such a big deal. So what I found, after doing a little playing, a little research, is as I go up in frequency on the waveform generator, when I hit 30 megahertz, it stays the same. We have a kind of a 1-to-1 ratio here, really, frequency-wise, as far as, you know, one cycle here is one cycle there. And I mean, I can even measure it. I mean, if you do channel 1, by the way, it's a DS1102E oscilloscope, another Regal. Display on. Right now it's displaying for source channel 1, and it's showing frequency of about 30 megahertz. It jumps around. The resolution on this is not great, but it's not normally meant to be measuring exact frequencies and stuff anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So anyway, point being, it's 1 for 1. Okay, so that's 30 on the input, and if you switch the source to channel 2, yeah, that didn't work, did it? Okay, let's go back to measure. Channel 1 source, channel 2 source. There we go, 30 megahertz. Now, the minute I go to 31 megahertz, watch what happens. Now the frequency jumped to 15 megahertz roughly. Well, yeah, and so if you, let's turn the display back off and watch, you can actually see it do that. Okay, so there it's matching up. I just go up 1 megahertz and it just basically chopped it in half. Actually 31.5 would be 15.5 megahertz. So the bottom is 15.5 megahertz. It does that one more time. I'm going to move the cursor over here. I'm going to go up, that's 40 megahertz, still kind of staying the same. About half, oh no, it is half, not about half. 60 megahertz, still half. Now I'm going to move this over and take it up just 1 megahertz. Actually, I should try just 1 hertz. I'm curious now. Anyway, and this, it did it again. It chopped it in half. So, and now with the waveform generator goes up to 160 megahertz. So once you're above 60 megahertz, there's a 4-to-1 ratio between the output frequency of the generator and the sync pulse. That's being taken off the jacks in the front of the waveform generator. So somebody wanted to know that. There you have it, 4-to-1. Let's go back down here to 60. Let's just, for the heck of it, I'll go over as far as I can with that. There's like a little dot on the frequency. You can't see that, obviously, but okay, this is like, this is tenths of a hertz. Yep, it is. See if just 1/10 will toggle it. Ha, it does. Look at that. So I mean, it's just the instant you go above 630 or 60 megahertz, the sync pulse drops in half, frequency-wise. So that's just kind of interesting. Now while we're here, it's only been 4 minutes. Let's play. Hey, we gotta play. Gotta have some fun, right? All right. I'm gonna go to the channel. Let's notice on the channel outputs where you can set, like, you know, your output impedances and things like that. There's a thing called noise. Let's do noise. Channel 1 setup. And noise is on. So I'm going to start increasing the noise level. Look what it does. It's freaking it out, man. It's going crazy. That's only 15% noise, and the thing's going out of its mind already. My scope's like, stop, you're hurting my input terminal. But seriously though, isn't that cool? You can just like add noise and, well, in this case it looks like jitter, doesn't it? But to your signal, just thought that was kind of cool. I haven't noticed that when I was in there playing. I'll crank that all back down to 0. I could just turn it off, but I like 0 better. Anyway, there you go. That answers your question. Why it does that, not sure as far as that 2-to-1 and 4-to-1 ratio. I've not used or worked with sync pulses a whole lot, so I mean, I would assume as long as, and a couple of really sharp troops out there that watch my videos, so pipe up if you have answers for that and use sync a lot. But I would assume that as long as it's an exact ratio, that it would still sync the. I could test that theory, couldn't I? Let's try it. Shouldn't do ad lib in the middle of videos, but you know, life is too short. You gotta have fun. And right now, by the way, the reason I went nuts, it was synced on channel 2. So, well, I don't know if there's a limit on the input voltage on that sync. But I don't believe I can change the sync voltage anyway, so wish me luck. Here we go. Come on, get on there. Okay, menu, source, mode, edge, source channel 2, external. Now we should be able to, oh, it did lock it up. Let's make sure it's really working. Yep. Adjust the trigger level. And that's at, let's see what frequency are we? Right, so that's a 60 megahertz. So it's already done that ratio change once, so I'm going to jump it and see if it continues to track. Gotta love this stuff, right? Here we go. Ready? Blink. It did flinch for a second. Did you see that? Kind of jumped to the left a little bit when but it's still tracking. So I guess it really doesn't matter. It still syncs up as long as it's an exact ratio. Anyway, anybody out there who wants to chime in on that, feel free. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed it. And again, if you have any suggestions for my channel, let me know. I do have some other videos I want to do. I just haven't had a lot of time lately, but I will try to get some more up there. Everybody, take care. 7-3 and 2CUA. Going that way.